Hi, my name is Chris Brennan, and I'm here at the United Astrology Conference, and I'm doing interviews this week with different astrologers who are attending the conference. And joining me right now is Alia Wesala, who's the former president of the Association for Young Astrologers and is a current board member of the International Society for Astrological Research. Hi, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
This is my first interview here at the conference, or maybe second interview, because Lisa and I did an impromptu one. But I wanted to talk to you because you recently made a transition from the Association for Young Astrologers to the board of ESAR.
Yes.
And how long were you the president of AYA for?
For about a year and a half, from
Okay.
about October 2016 until I transitioned kind of around April of this year.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what was it like, or how do you feel about the state of like young astrologers and where things are going into, for so many years, a lot of established astrologers who had been around for decades were worried that there weren't enough young people coming into the community, and they were always asking at conferences, like, where are all the young people? Do you feel like that's changed, or where do you think we're at this point?
I think it has changed. I think that, and I'm sure you've seen this as well, there's been a lot of, more people coming into the community with everything the internet has to offer in terms of education and networking and connection, and that's certainly something that we were trying to do when I was with the Association for Young Astrologers, by getting our dinner and drinks started, getting people to come and actually connect with each other online, wherever they might be, and that's still something that the organization is continuing to do.
And what is that again? Because that's actually a really good thing, because that was a really innovative thing that you guys were doing during your tenure with the dinner and drinks.
Yes. So it's a monthly online meetup in which there's usually a featured guest that's a specialist in some sort of topic area. So we featured both like techniques or information from the various traditions, as well as things to help young astrologers in moving towards more professionalization and developing themselves as professionals. So
Okay.
that was kind of the goal. And then there'd be a moderator who would kind of help facilitate the discussion, but we'd start with a short intro from the featured guest, and then it'd be an open question and answer format, so that it'd be pretty casual and hopefully accessible to people. We actually encouraged people to treat it like a happy hour if they wanted, to bring a drink if that was more comfortable or fun for them.
Yeah, I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a webinar, but it was more casual, like building a sort of online community and
Yes,
interacting
meant
with
to
people.
be interactive for
Sure.
sure. Yes.
Cool. All right. And so you're transitioning out of AYA, and now you're on the board of ESAR. And that's sort of, because AYA is a smaller organization, and now you're moving up to one of the biggest astrological organizations in the world. Are you excited about that, or nervous, or what are some of the challenges potentially with that?
Well, I'm really hoping, when I was kind of invited to join the board, I was actually kind of excited about the opportunity to really bring young astrology to an older established astrology organization with a lot of history and tradition and all that. So I'm really trying to take what I've learned in working with the AYA and everything, all the history from that organization as well, and try to integrate that into the work that we're doing at ESAR.
Sure. No, that's great.
We'll see. I know that organizations transition very slowly, so I'm patient about the process, but really excited about what opportunities there are.
Yeah, I think that's really important, just because that's the only way that we're going to have younger astrologers become more integrated in the community, is having them transition and take some of those leadership roles in the established organizations, so that it's not just always having our own organizations like the Association for Young Astrologers, but actually sometimes taking leadership roles in the established ones.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was cool.
That is really cool. And so finally, the last thing is your background is actually as a social worker, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is important about that, or how have you integrated that into your sort of interest or focus on astrology, or what have you gained from that, or what's if you had not advice, but what's useful about merging that with astrology?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's actually kind of twofold, because I have training as a clinical social worker, so more of like the therapeutic context of social work, which obviously applies very directly to consulting astrology.
Okay.
But I also work as an administrative social worker, which has given me a lot of experience in organizations, and I've been able to apply that to my work with astrology organizations. So I've been able to engage in the community and participate as an astrologer in these two different ways, and both of those are supported by my studies and work as a social worker. So
Sure.
I've also been trying to kind of integrate some of the values of social work into the astrology I'm doing. And one of the things I really appreciate about ESAR as an organization is that they have their code of ethics, and social work is a very ethics-driven profession. So that was one of the draws for me to the organization. And I'm hoping that we keep furthering that work in our professionalization, and keep kind of raising the standards of what astrology expects from its practitioners as well. So, especially in terms of protecting our clients and the people we work with, and making sure that, you know, we're doing no harm and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
that's
Establishing better ethical guidelines and clearer
Yes.
ones, and ones that are more appropriate for like this day and age for 2018.
Right. And actually, I was a part of. There's actually something in the UAC conference program right now that's a code of conduct that I actually had a hand in developing through actually the AYA. That was something that we wanted to kind of move along, and the organizing committee at UAC was very excited about the idea. They were very supportive about it. And so that was able to be something that we pushed through. And that was something that I was very committed to doing as somebody who is a social worker and wants to make sure that people feel safe and comfortable in the conference space so that
Sure.
they can learn and do their own work as professionals and evolve and, you know, do all the great stuff.
Yeah, having a neutral playing field and knowing what the rules are.
Yes.
That's really important, just because there hadn't been like a code of conduct for conferences, or nobody had proposed the idea, but instead it would just be, sometimes there would be incidents, or sometimes something would happen, or somebody would
Right.
cross a line and it would be dealt with individually, but there wasn't a clear set of rules until now for that. So
Yeah,
that's
so we've articulated what the expectations are for professional collegial conduct at conferences. So.
Sure. So that's brilliant. So that's, you know, bringing, as you were saying, part of your background from social work
Yeah.
into the astrological community.
Yeah,
Great. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I had.
those
so
are good questions.
yeah, thanks a lot for joining me. I hope you have a good conference. Do you know what talks you're attending, or you got anything you're looking forward to at the conference?
I'm looking forward to getting some time away from the organizational table. I can
Okay.
tell you that. But mostly I'm responsible for making sure that's happening. And I'll have to see. I actually am planning to meet with a fellow younger astrologer to go over the the conference schedule and see where we're going
Brilliant.
over the next day. So
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for joining me.
yeah, thanks, Chris.
All right, and thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to view more videos from the conference, and otherwise I'll see you next time.